Alright everyone, hello, welcome back. Hopefully, I did notice that the mic was a little bit funky in the last episode, so hopefully it has been fixed. I'm going to put this in here just in case, because it's not like I'm ever carrying enough money for it to matter, right? There's only 3 currencies, so having a labs access card at all times is pretty good. Now, I did not get a chance to go and do a woods run at any point throughout my day. So, where is it? The peacekeeping mission, whatever it may be, is still tracked for some reason. I'm still missing the 5 kills. I'll go do that at some other point. So as I promised, we're going to go to Shoreline, where I have to go find 3 houses, which are all, as far as I know, in the swamp. I have to go mark a part on Shoreline, which is out on the Scab Island. I have to mark 2 things up at the resort. And I'm going to go for the shooter born in heaven. I need all 5 headshots with the PMCs, which is why I have all this stuff here. I don't have the markers yet. I will go get them now, and I will meet you guys inside. And we're back. Not me wanting to just spend extra time where I listening into Christmas music out of time. So obviously we have to go to the resort. We'll make a beeline for there. You'll notice I'm not really here for much. I'm here for basically a fight. And that's kind of it. Like, I'm not really here for loot. Which is why I'm not carrying a backpack or a chest rig. Okay. If anything, if I take anybody out, I'll grab the dog tags. I go the wrong way. I went the wrong way. Okay. I don't have a suppressed weapon, and I don't have a backup weapon. So, on second thought, we might have to loot somebody and take their weapon as a backup. I put a lot of thought into this, could you tell? You're just listening out, 'cause sometimes you can get a few AI around here. Anything useful here? No. All the other missions right now that are like of, quote, major importance, other than the shooter board in heaven and the ones I'm currently doing, there's a couple of them in customs. There is the one that wants me to go to streets, then go to labs, because there's a couple things, actually quite a bit to do in labs. And let me just look over here. I probably could have picked a better scope, in all fairness. Like how it's getting dark, and it's not even because it's late in the day. It's literally just afternoon. But just the way the clouds are coming in, and the fact that this game is just sort of usually dark and depressing anyway. At least they changed the shooter born in heaven. It used to be 5 kills on these maps at over 100 meters. And I think they did all have to be headshots, if I'm not mistaken. So you can get ones that were like headshots at 99.9 meters, didn't matter. Or you can get kills over 100 meters that were not headshots. And that didn't matter either. And it was very annoying. So, knowing how Battlestate games tends to work, I would imagine it took many years and everyone going on and on and on. Because Battlestate games themselves, don't get me wrong, they do listen to the community, but they are not very easily swayed. So the fact that they did change it means something, like, you know, something had to give, right? That's a scav. That is hard to tell. I'm literally only taking this just for sorting space. Oh. Oh! Okay, that's one. It's really not ideal. I'm just looking for backup for the shotgun if I needed it. Chuck a grenade over there. Not even for a kill, mostly just to draw them out if I need it. Reload like this. Not the best way to reload, but it is a way to reload. Somebody back there. That's a headshot. I'm gonna take cover for a second. Heal up. Oof. I don't know what he was using. But it was pretty good. We'll put it on double tap so we hit him with both barrels if there's anyone here to fight. What do we have here? A Vector in 45. Not bad. I don't know if that's shooting. So I don't know why I'm whispering. I don't know if that's shooting or somebody walking around. I don't really want it that much. Oh my god. I panicked for the flashlight. It's his flashlight. I chucked the gun on the ground. I'm hearing things. Shoot. I knew whatever I was... Whoa! That whatever I was hearing wasn't just shots from the distance. Nailed it. Like, I'm so like, oh, I need the headshots. Realistically, I shouldn't be worried too much about the headshots. If I can get the headshot, great. If not, whatever. You know what I mean? Let's say I'm gonna back up. Back up a little bit. I don't have very many places to go, though. Tempted to pop this. Just in case. Ah! There. Take cover. Ugh. I have no idea what happened there. This is a bad place to be. Oop. One more ahead of me. There he is. There you go. That's a third. Somewhere over there. Didn't hit it. I didn't hit him. There he is. Come on, lean back. That's 4. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a friend that I can, you know, finish it up in like 2 minutes. This guy was somewhere over here. Over here. Oh, and that was his friend. Okay. Is this me? Yes. Perfect. That's basically exactly what I was looking for. As for that, that's better than what I'm wearing as far as I know. I'll take these. Don't care about the backpack or anything. But as in, like, I don't care about what's, like, taking the backpack. But I'll look for some food and water if I can find some. I mean, I got food and water. I should be alright. I think I need that allegedly. Need 5 of those if I'm not mistaken. I just don't remember what for. And an AK. Anything on there that's useful? Probably not. No, I mean, I already have a backup. It's fine. Actually, what state is that in? If it's in a better state than what I have, than his gun. Good ammo? No. Okay. Oh. Don't know what he's up to. Ooh. Put that here. This isn't in great condition, but I'll take his mags. You know what? Yeah, whatever. We'll drop it. It's fine. This is supposed to be like a backup anyway. You know what I mean? Somewhere over here. They usually are. Yep, there he is. Yes! I shot at him blind and I got him. I will take it. Well, that's great. That's a really good shooter born in heaven, if I do say so myself. What did he have? He probably wasn't going to have a good time. He had a 590. All I had to do was move beyond, like, 3 yards. I say that, but I know for a fact that they can do some pretty funky numbers with shotguns. Although he has yeah, he's got slugs, so that would hurt. Should take a pistol. Tempted. As for, oh yeah, there you go. There's the funky vision. These guys from earlier. Okay, 366. As for weapons, and when I was talking about what I want to do for weapons for my next sort of loadout, I have the RFB lying around, right? So why not give that a whirl? Let's see what kind of ammo's in here. Trash. Okay. We'll head inside. I believe I'm also suffering from tremors too. What is this that it's wanting? Oh, there's something in the basement. That's right. Right. Earthy visit. Unless... No, it's not. I'm thinking about the little island on Scab Island. No, it's not. There's a marked room in here. How could I forget? Hopefully, Sanitar and his buddies aren't in here. Although, in all fairness, what the heck? Oh, I didn't register as the MG site. Full auto. Really full of it. We'll put it in single. Where is it? Somewhere over here? Yes. Going the wrong way. Okay. See if I can find some random ammo here. These don't look like that. They're probably not full. Or they are? Okay. Interesting. I did consider the VSS as a weapon to use, but I was like, I want to try something truly different. Right, because this is basically... I mean, it's more complicated than what I'm about to say, but it's basically just a fancy AK. There's the gold chain in the air. Okay, good. This is just thingy plants. Hang on. Let's wait a little bit. I'm going to speed this up for you guys. Good, it's not too bad. Right. Oh, I can search his body too. That's useful. Oh. No thanks. So I know I've mentioned this a few times now. I do listen. I have Spotify. I can find out when to like edit things and stuff, right? And lately, it's been Christmas music, like Christmas jazz, because I'm sure I've mentioned this at least twice now. I'm a huge fan of Christmas music. Okay. I'm not here for loot. Keep going. I do have night vision goggles, and those look not horrendous in the dark. Have to go mark the helicopter. Oh boy. Interesting. And I forgot how great the VSS and the ASVAL are. We'll mark this. Okay. Search anything in here. Again, preferably ammo. No. And then we have to plant, I think over here around this barrel. Yeah. These should count. Hopefully. So in about 5 seconds, this should go. Yep. And in about 20-ish seconds, the one behind me should go. Hopefully. We have to go do courtesy visit. I can't do Climber's Trail anymore, but we can do Path to Lighthouse. Oh, here's me running into this dude. He just didn't even react to me. Again, so you know what I will do? I'll take this off. I can use it for irons, because I'm using it for like backup or very close quarters. But anytime I can see anybody long range, we're going to use the Mosin. Because I do need to start leveling up my sniper skill for later. Although I do know you can, over time, like some of the missions give you sniper skill, but it's nice to work on them myself for the time being, you know what I mean? And I'm working on them passively, okay? I know that's not the best way to farm them is to go for kills. It's actually go for hits. So it actually is worth my time to not go for one-hit kills. It's actually worth my time to draw it out as much as possible. Unless they've changed that. But it used to be you got a point per hit regardless of where you hit them. So if you wanted to farm points, you didn't want to take them out quickly. Right. So I don't know if that's changed or not. If you know, let me know. Okay. That's still, it's crazy. This game has been out almost 8 years. And it's coming out in about 6-ish weeks. And the guy still doesn't understand. Oh! A retaining reload. I think that one was a headshot. Pretty sure I heard somebody else. What did you have? An AK. What I could do, take this off here, this on here, pop that on there, and now I get a sight that isn't the irons, because the irons are not amazing. Okay. But yeah, it was genuinely... let's drink. It was genuinely worth more to hit him in the chest and then slap him than it was to just go for the face. Which is totally not my excuse for why I missed the headshot. Heal up our chest. Heading over to the water. And this time I do have a a splint. Not me saying sprint because I hit shift and I was like, yes, we got to sprint across this street here. Yeah. The swamp is always very funky. Two items that are technically not really in the swamp, and there's one like basically dead center in the swamp, and it's like, bro, really? Put that in full auto. This is pretty low recoil from what I recall. And because the ammo I think is okay, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't plan on keeping the weapon or really the ammo. I'm probably going to mag dump at least once. Doing this. I just have to walk in here, right? I don't need to do anything fancy. If it will let me go over here. Could not climb over that. Okay, I think that's it, right? Yep. Eat that. But nothing else good. That's fine. Could you imagine if they required you to have water to eat the MREs? Because, I mean, you don't need water to eat the MREs, but they make them a nice... Like, oh, you know what? Instead of just needing water to do the MRE, you have the option of adding water to your MRE to get more out of it. That would be pretty interesting. Right? Because I'm sure that there's plenty of stuff in an MRE you can eat without water. But isn't there also a thing for happiness, or am I just being stupid? There isn't. But it could be. What do I need? Oh look, a paracord. Very cool. Okay, and then follow the road into the swamp. And it's that house there. That was a really, really effective raid. I'm beyond ecstatic. I just have to get out now. I'm beyond ecstatic with the mows in there. Okay. So the way fights like those should be handled, like up in the resort, basically, because I know I was saying what I was doing, but I don't know if I was explaining what I was doing. Now, because I had a bolt-action rifle, and these guys obviously have more rounds per minute on target than I could. Let me just check I'm in the right place here. Interesting. I don't think I've ever been out this way. So I don't know if there's any enemies this way. But because they have more rounds per minute, okay, back to advice. I just have to keep going. Yeah. What you have to be careful of is distance, right? Try to get yourself as much distance as you need or can. If you don't have enough distance, you're going to be at a major disadvantage. So, yes, they can be very accurate with it, but your main advantage is you can do good damage over range. And you kind of need the extra range, right? Their advantage is up close and personal, they don't like you. So, and they would probably win. So, headshot, headshot, headshot. Most of these were headshots, except for that one guy at the end. You want to create distance, especially if you're trying to go for headshot specific kills, like I am for the mission, right? So you have to be sort of cognizant of that. And also, can you move backwards? I'm lucky in this map is quite open, and I was able to move backwards and actually get what I needed done, which is very cool. But that's not always an option. So if you can't do that, your best bet is to try to create as much distance as you can, because again, you're not going to be guaranteed enough space to get all that, and you got to be careful. What you then do is try to find yourself as much hard cover as you can possibly feasibly imagine. Okay? If you can't get any cover, try your best for concealment, especially against players, right? Because the AI can see you regardless of whether you're in the open or not, but a player is going to have a hard time seeing you through bushes. So try to get good angles of cover. At the very best, or at the worst case scenario, try to get somewhere to hide and try to, get good shots. If it's really bad, obviously don't be picky with your shots. If you need to go back in to get a proper headshot later, that's fine. It's better you win the fight, get out, and then go back in to do what you need to do properly the second time, than it is to try to go for the one headshot and die, and then now you gotta re-kit and everything, right? So that's always good. Knowing the AI's patterns is always kind of useful, because you'll notice, and players can sometimes do this, but players don't do this very often, where what will happen is they will basically go hello and peek around a corner and then peek the corner and then not peek the, like, they usually tend to peek the same corners, whereas players usually don't. Of course, that's not a rule, that's more of a guideline. Okay, we're not going to do Shoreline in the next raid. We're going to take these. When you're also dealing with AI, note that they're kind of funky, and they tend to go for headshots and torso shots, less so limb shots. So try to protect your torso and your head at all times. You'll notice, as I'm moving around maps, where possible, I'm trying to put some guaranteed hard cover between me and potential enemies. So I'm gonna go to my character here. I'm gonna open this map, for example, in customs. Okay. So if I'm running along this wall, or if I'm running on this road, I'm gonna try to put myself up against this wall as I'm running. Right? And the reason why is because, one, it's harder for the AI and players, because if they throw a grenade over here, like from over here, this like on this road, it's easy for them to throw it on this road or along the ditch or whatever. But it's a lot harder for them to do the really short toss to get it right up against that wall. Additionally, for the most part of this wall, there's a pipe that protects your legs and a bit of your torso and your stomach from anyone in this area over here. Right, so you're trying to give yourself as much hard cover as possible, whether that be passive cover, being this little pipe to kind of give me cover. If someone's shooting at me while I'm walking, they're a lot less likely to hit my legs because my legs are just passively covered by the pipe. This wall here is more of an active cover choice, because I am actively using it for cover against anyone on this road. And both for live like a direct fire and indirect fire via grenades, right? Not that it's impossible for them to lob a grenade over this type into the wall here, but it's a lot less likely. They have to really, like, basically, this person would have to be aiming up. I'm talking like maybe 65 plus degrees to get the right arc to lob it up against the wall where you will be walking, right? If we go to... This is so silly. I'm sure you guys don't really care about it that much, but basically my thinking here, right, was I started here, and these guys were coming around this corner. Now, they have the advantage with automatic weapons. Now, these guys, you'll notice when they came at me, I saw the flashlight, which kind of helped me figure out where they are. And because it's not nighttime and I'm not wearing night vision, it wasn't super dazzling. Plus, I think it was a weaker flashlight, which helped. So I moved further to the left over here because I can get myself more distance this way. And that helped because the guy with the 45 ACP, right, with that vector, if he had armor piercing and I was close, he would have shredded me. But because I'm a lot further out, his accuracy drops off, which is sort of due to the nature of the round. Because of that, I have an easier time picking my shot. Again, you don't always have the luxury of being picky for your shots, but if you can, by increasing your distance, you can kind of be a little bit pickier like that. And the same with this guy over here, like his buddy. I basically tried to keep, the fire truck over here, and some bushes. The bushes aren't going to help, but the fire truck and the little debris is going to help cover me a little bit. So I tried to make sure I was poking around the corners, like basically just my arm and my head or whatever, right? To reduce the amount of possible places he could hit me. And then I got lucky with that headshot, in all fairness. When I went to go loot these guys, and the 2 PMCs came rushing around this corner at me. Well, I'd seen them a little bit earlier because they were firing at somebody over here, and I had heard them, so it was kind of keeping my glance this way because the PMCs in real players will sometimes come up over here, but the AI tends to not do that. So I knew that the AI was either going to come in behind me, in which I have plenty of space to turn around because I'm on this side of the wall, or they'll come from over here, in which case I'll see them because I was facing kind of this way. So I basically looked, so I was on this corner here with my vision basically on this sort of 90 degree. So when I saw them, I said, we're going to stick over here because we have the passive cover for our legs of this low wall. The fence can take a couple hits, but the wall's solid, right? And I'm going to duck and dive between the trees to stop any of them potentially. Basically, if they throw a grenade at me, try to put something, right? Because they can throw a grenade, no problem. And then there was the one sky grenade for some reason. Now, I tried to obviously take a couple places behind some trees in this area, poking through, seeing who I could hit, who I couldn't hit. And they just sort of kept pushing, which means I push back and push back and push back. Like, fall back over here. See what I can do, because I know I can get over here, but it's a little bit awkward. Basically, my back appears literally against the wall. So what I thought, it's like, well, now they have to come from my front, and I do some cover, but the problem is they also now have cover. But now they're trying to push me. They're going to be a little bit less accurate because they're further away. So, as long as my aim doesn't suck horrendously, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I'm going to go for the kill. And if it's not, it doesn't have to be the headshots, but it's nice if it is. They got they started getting really close to pushing me here, and I couldn't see them because there's a lot of bushes over against this wall. And that's obviously not ideal. So you saw I went up on this hill, right, this rock, because it does give me a little bit more height advantage. It's hard cover, unlike the bushes and the walls, and I can protect more of myself while I'm basically overviewing this large courtyard. And while I'm doing that, I'm keeping an eye a little bit over here, but I'm focused on these guys here who then have to go over. Oh, like, sure, there's a lot of bushes, but there's a lot of open area you saw that to cover. Like, there's a whole basketball court or whatever it is, like a tennis court, because I think there's a tennis court on one of these and a basketball on the other, and I don't remember which is which. But they have to come up to this court, and it's like, they're wide open. You saw them. They were on that, like right beside that court, just bam, bam. And like that's why I ran back the way I did. If I really, really, really needed to, I would have fallen back. If I had to pick between the bunker and the scav farm, probably the scav farm, because it's a little bit easier to hide there. The bunker is awkward. You get funneled into a bunch of scavs that can be in a couple of different funky hidden places. Right? And then that fifth headshot over here was just pure accident. I basically fired into the bush while I saw him moving and I hit him. Anyway, I don't really know where we're going to go next. We have this nostalgia mission in Shoreline. I'll probably take a break from Shoreline for a bit because I don't have very many other Shoreline missions. Maybe the lighthouse? Or... yeah, it could be the lighthouse maybe. There's a couple of things on customs I have to do. That one I'll think about at some point, probably off camera. There's streets. This one wants me to go to streets and then to the labs. Do I want to go to the labs? Because there's a couple of things to do in labs. That's that. Maybe an interchange to do. We might do interchange. Okay, we'll do that. He wants reserve. Oh, is it just interchange for that? Oh. Interesting. Maybe we'll do reserve? Yeah, you know what? We'll do reserve because we got a few missions over there. Right? And I'll keep track of those later. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. If you guys like what you saw, leave a like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, share with all your friends. Thank you to my subscribers. Hopefully you guys learned something today with my rambling about tactics. And I will see you guys in the next episode where we're definitely going to tackle reserve. See you later.